Hello, welcome to another UTS Startups Confessions. Can I get a big welcome round of applause from everyone here, please? Settle down, Jesus. It's wonderful to have you here. Thank you very much for joining. I'm going to shut up because this is a fascinating story. I lied. I'll tell a quick story. I was a terrible student. Raise your hand if you're a terrible student in high school. Okay, pretty much everyone here. Maybe there's a trend correlation there. But I think there's a whole bunch of different things that contribute to people having a bad experience in school and not performing in the way that they're able to perform. So you have a wonderful solution, and you need to hear about this if you have kids or care about the next generation or just want Australia to succeed as a nation with our education system. Caitlin, what is Youth in Motion in 10 seconds?
Okay, so Youth in Motion is a non-profit organisation. We provide free learning support for disadvantaged young people in Sydney via online, via Zoom or Google Meets, and we provide that one-on-one support and care.
Okay, why do they need that?
Well, our young people are facing disadvantage, so we classify disadvantage as an intersection, so we don't really think about just socioeconomic status, which is normally what's covered when you think of disadvantage. We think of refugee status, excessive responsibilities at home, living with disability, parents with a disability. It's really, it's so complex, the amount of disabilities and disadvantage that people can have. So we don't just think of it as one specific area that we focus on. We focus on any type of disadvantage that a young person can experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And so that was started in 2016?
Yes, it started in 2016, and then I joined in 2018. So it's different because I didn't actually start this startup. I came in 2 years when it was already chugging along. So it's a bit different.
I love that. It's a great way to kind of figure out if something's going to work or not, if people are already experimenting and you can see, okay, they've got this kind of traction and I can help it get to this level.
Yeah.
I wish more people thought about doing that kind of thing. It doesn't tend to happen that much.
No. I think people, especially, if you're here at startups, you kind of have that founder spirit and you have an idea or you want to have an idea and you want to push that to the next level. But there are so many people that already have started something that just need that extra support to get it going to be a good idea. And I think that's why Youth in Motion was such a perfect spot at the right time, because they had a great idea and I just jumped on ship.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But it started out as a face-to-face kind of mentoring program, is that right?
Yeah, so in 2016, it was actually an idea started from high school that they thought, okay, like this is actually working, let's bring it on. And it started with as a partnership with one special school in Narembeen, and that school has a very limited amount of students because they really focus on each student getting the care and support they need. So it's kind of the perfect school to start with. And that was a mandatory program for their older students in around year 10 to 12. So being a mandatory school program, you're not going to get the most love from the kids because they have to be there. It's not something they opt into. But it was still a really good beginning because it was a partnership with a school, which out the gate was really, really great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So being in the school and seeing the problems that they had themselves and then being able to solve those problems, it's a great way of starting a company as well.
Yeah.
It's not face-to-face anymore.
No.
What happened there?
I think a few of us know that in the last few years there's been a pandemic.
Yeah.
And that's changed a lot of how we work and how a lot of young people learn. So although we started as a face-to-face organization, that quickly stopped when the pandemic hit, and a lot of our young people are facing disadvantage and are vulnerable. So of course we can't go into the school anymore. So we immediately pivoted. Love that word in startups, it's always a quick pivot. And we started online, and that was, I think, the first week. We immediately were like, okay, we can't leave them hanging. Let's keep going in this term and let's offer our services online. So I'm proud of us that we immediately went online. It was difficult, but it's provided us this opportunity where we can grow from being online, because we're only online now. We don't do any face-to-face services, which is different, but also has been really amazing.
Do you find students engage with that in the way that they need to?
That's always the conversation that people have when you hear about online learning, is the engagement high enough? Are they really listening? But because we are one-on-one support, we really have the full attention of the student as much as they can give us online. And I think that it's been very beneficial to students because these students want to be there. They don't have to be there. Maybe their parents are telling them, you need to do this, but they show up, they're there. And that was the difference between our first kind of pilot program. They didn't really want to be there. So it's kind of a hard thing to judge, but I think the results can speak for themselves and the way our students have excelled in how this has been successful.
But I love that, okay, there's tutoring kind of companies and you can pay a lot of money and you can be part of the 1% that are helping your children get into whatever, that's fine. But I think you would get a very different engagement by leveraging volunteers and helping the people that actually need the help and otherwise wouldn't get it. I'm sure you get excellent digital engagement that normal kind of tuition support services don't get.
Yeah, because they're really just trying to get that 99 ATAR, which is not what we're focused on. We're not focused on getting the next grade up or getting A's or anything like that. It's really, we see ourselves as kind of a stepping stone in a young person's life, that we're here to support you and to ensure that you can foster a love of learning that may not have been provided to you in the school you were in or if you're not in school anymore. But I think by providing this one-on-one support, and we also have youth workers for every student so that they can get that support with their mental health or anything with their home life. We're really trying to show them that, okay, we're not your parents, we're not your teachers, we're just fellow young people that care about you and want you to do well. And I think the students tend to really appreciate that. It's hard to tell with teenagers. Sometimes they just give you a nod and that's all you get. But I think they would all say, and our feedback has said, that it's been very beneficial to them.
How do you do this? How do you get so many volunteers to engage with so many students?
I think actually the pandemic was really helpful in that one aspect, because people were kind of stuck at home. They realized how small their world was, where you could only kind of go to the corner store or see your neighbors for the first time, and you realize that there is a lot of disadvantage around us in Australia. And people realized, I want to give back. I want to give back at home. I want to do something. And especially because we're online, you can just do it from home. So we posted a volunteers wanted on Seek Volunteer for tutoring, and we had to close the application. We had like 100 applications, which was crazy for us. We had never experienced anything like that in face-to-face, but online, people were just so ready to give back. It was amazing. So we had that initially with the pandemic. It has definitely teetered off. Now that we're kind of 2 years in, people are understanding I can go back to work, or I don't need to work at home all the time. So we are looking. If you would like to volunteer with us, please check us out. We're looking for tutors. We're looking for people in our management team, especially communications, and we're refreshing our board. So we need non-executive board directors to lead us and help me. So we're looking if you are interested.
Okay, I think I'll volunteer myself. I don't have much to teach people, but I'll give it a shot.
That'd be amazing.
I love technology-enabled entrepreneurship. That's what startups are all about to me. And the fact that you can get through technology and the way that people engage with it now, so many people to volunteer. This couldn't happen before, and it's not something you want to make a lot of money from, obviously. It's a not-for-profit. But the scale that you're reaching now is ridiculous because of technology. So that's a wonderful story.
Definitely. I never really thought of us as like tech-focused, and I would always apply for loans or like funds for nonprofits, but they wanted you to be tech-focused. I was like, okay, I guess I'll pull out, but now I'm going to apply again because very tech-focused apparently.
I think everyone is becoming, but
Yeah.
it's now a race
have
to
to
see
be.
how quickly people can pick up things. And think of all the students you're addressing and how they're engaging with technology in different ways
Yeah.
because of how you're using it as well. I think that could be a wonderful side effect.
Definitely.
So over the last couple of years of leading this company, how has that changed you as a person?
I was talking to Mario before that I think I'm a very introverted, shy, anxious person, and I don't know if I seem like it, but I'm trying very hard. And it's definitely made me more confident in myself, not as just a person, but as a leader. I'm very quick to step in behind someone and cheer them on and go them. But when it kind of turns around and it's on me, I always shied away from it. So I think kind of being even putting CEO on LinkedIn, I was like, yikes, that's not me, introvert, I can't. But no, it's definitely allowed me to believe more into who I am and what I want to do. And Youth in Motion is definitely something I like to do and one of my passions, and giving back. So I think hopefully I've changed for the better in the last 5 years that I've been a part of this company, because not only have we changed a lot of young people's lives, I feel like the team around us is also so passionate and so beautiful that we help each other. I don't know if any of that made sense or if I even answered the question.
No, it's perfect.
But
Yeah.
that's
You must have I know some of the people involved, but everyone I've met has been wonderful, and everyone there must be wonderful. If you're leaning on volunteers that want to do this kind of thing, there's no one's turning up for a paycheck.
No. It's completely volunteer run, so no one is making any money doing this yet. But I can't sit here and say this is the Caitlin show, this is all about me, this is what I do. No, it's so about the team. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I learned, is that maybe 100 people will put up their hand to volunteer, but 20 people will do the work, and 10 people will enjoy doing the work and stay. So it's finding those 10 people, holding on to them for dear life, and forming a little community, because my team, especially Bonnie, they are everything. If I didn't have them, I couldn't run this at all. It's not a one trick pony. It's everyone has to pitch in, because being volunteer run, everyone has time available in different times. So I could do 1 hour here, someone else could do an hour. So it's not like someone's being paid to constantly work this all the time. It's little pockets of time everywhere. So it's very complicated and would be impossible without a good team.
But I love the idea of a future where all the people across Australia that can help younger people are helping younger people, and all the people that need the help are getting the help. It's not just people that can afford tutors and other support that are getting that kind of support, and it's going to happen thanks to yourself leading this.
Hopefully,
Seriously.
that's the dream.
And I also like thinking about all the people that put CEO on their LinkedIn for the first time, and every time you do that as a new company, you're kind of faking it completely.
So imposter syndrome, this is not real.
But I think that's a common feeling everyone goes through at that moment. As a last question, if you could go back and tell yourself anything when you were making that LinkedIn change, what advice would you give yourself back then?
I would say continue to dream big about all the future possibilities you have, but also keep your feet firmly planted on the ground, because I was talking to Bonnie earlier, we were planning things, and I said, I want 10 partnerships this year. I want to be with Headspace. I want to be with Batir. I want to be with all the organizations. And she just looks at me and is like, let's do one maybe this year. I think, so dream big, but keep your feet on the ground is probably what I would tell past me.
Do we have to keep this stream going until we can get Batir and Headspace and a couple of other people to sign on? I'm willing to.
We'll be here forever, it's okay. I'll wait.
Okay, maybe not. If you are watching, reach out, and where should they go to?
They should go to Youth in Motion, our website, our Instagram, our Facebook. I will be there for you. I will be there.
And if you want to volunteer and support the next generation as well.
Also, please check us out. Right when you get on the website, it says volunteer with us. Click that and we'll reach out to you.
Beautiful. Okay. Last call to action. We're going to wrap up here, but every Friday at 3:30 we run these sessions at UTS Startups at Central. Come down, join us. I've heard a rumor there's some really good food coming up. It'll be coming in the next couple of weeks from a very special supporter of our work, so stay tuned. I'll end there. We'll go to private Q&A. Please join me in thanking Caitlin from Youth in Motion.